there is a huge possibility that they are projecting what their beliefs are to you when it comes to money. And you have to be very honest with yourself.
Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I'm your host, Angela Duncan, best-selling author, speaker, serial entrepreneur, and we talk all things money and business. Today's episode, I get to interview Anna Suarez. She is a world traveler, serial entrepreneur who's come from very humble beginnings. We're going to talk about business all across this globe, and she's going to talk about what it means to be unbreakable. Hi, Anna. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. How are you?
I am great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. We had the opportunity to meet here in South Florida at a Grant Cardone event, and I've been following you ever since. So I'm excited to have you on today. But I would love for you to just start with, who is Anna? How did you grow up? And we'll go from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, my name is Anna, and first and foremost, I am a believer of God. And how I grew up is about as simple as this, if you can imagine coming from the mountains with no running water, no electricity, and deciding to take a chance of my life outside of the mountains. And from the roller coaster over there, I've met a lot of people, a lot of great, great individuals that have taught me life, especially money. So that's something that I would never take for granted to this day. I still learn every day.
Yeah, and I sometimes, I'll tell my backstory that I grew up in here in the U.S., but in, government assistance. I can't imagine not having running water and electricity. I did have that, but that's definitely a very humble beginning for sure.
Yes, ma'am. So after that, coming from the mountains, because I didn't know how life in the city, for lack of a better word, is, I end up being homeless. So that was another trajectory of my life that I had to pretty much change. And money was, again, another tool that was actually made me a believer that money is not a root of evil or any of these things that I've learned before. Money is a tool that we can actually help ourselves so that we can help other people. So that was really, really, really amazing experience for me. Sure.
You're speaking my language, and I also am a daughter of God, and I do believe in, I'm a Christian. And, even though money is mentioned several times in the Bible, it's what we do with this tool, right? So what have you learned over the years that perhaps you can give us some insight? You're an entrepreneur, you've grown companies, kind of walk us through that period of your life.
Well, let's start with this. It's truly understanding that there's a lot of amazing, great people out there, that there is a huge possibility that they are projecting what their beliefs are to you when it comes to money. And you have to be very honest with yourself, and truly being able to kind of just discern what is best for you in that given moment, in that season of your life, and make choices. And sometimes, especially families, and they have the good heart, they have the good intention, they have all of these things, but they're projecting their beliefs into you, and it might not be what's best for you right now. And if you have the courage to be able to go against all of that, so that you will know what is next for you, it is really, really important. I, of course, as you know, this, my life is now served by God, and I have always been the person who say, all right, God, use me for you, for your glory. And the way I see it is like, when I went against everyone that have projected their fear, their limiting beliefs when it comes to money, I end up being able to be used by God to be blessed by money so that I can bless the other people. And second thing that I would say into that one too is like, money is power.
Mm.
And I'm so blessed and so grateful. This one, I mean it with from the bottom of my heart, where God had to take me through these character building seasons of my life so that I know how to handle power when it
Mm.
gets here. And understand that that power came with responsibility. And I was willing to take on the responsibility because now I do have the character that was built by God and able to sustain myself without breaking, either this way or that way, you know, the good way or the bad way. So that was really, really awesome. So that's kind of my journey when it comes to money. And at this moment, we do have, and part of our coaching and consulting, we do have, it's called profitability. And at this very moment, also, we serve over 100 entrepreneurs in that profitability area. And you'd be very surprised, Miss Angela, how many of them, the reasoning why they're having challenge with money or profits is because of what I just said, the past two things. It's like understanding the power, understanding the responsibility, and also understanding that there are a lot of great, amazing people out there that are projecting their beliefs. And now it's in your head, now it's in your soul, and now you are looking at money that way. And then you're wondering, it's like, why can't I pay my bills? It's like, because you're looking at it wrong. You're scaring yourself by making so much money. You're so scared by also paying so much money. You're so scared also by having all of this power. Okay, let's talk with the profitability first. Let's go to the other side. Let's talk about that side first, and then let's go back to the profitability after that. So it's quite a journey for sure.
Yeah. And when you get that scarcity too, people can see it. When I met you, you can tell that you have grace and that you are confident. And you've been through quite a bit to get to that level. But I do think that when we want to work with someone in business, how you handle yourself, that creates important for people to understand that knowledge now is equating to confidence, and in being able to handle yourself, people will trust you more. Do you find that to be true?
100% agreed. I talked to my brother yesterday. It was time for us to catch up. And he was telling me few people, let's use you and my name to make it easy. And he's like, well, if it is me, would I listen to Angela on how to build $1 million business if she hasn't done it?
Mm-hmm.
Would I listen to Anna of how to create my life if she hasn't done it?
Mm.
Would I listen to Angela to tell me how to invest my money, because I know you are in that world, if she's not investing her own money? And the reasoning why I'm saying that is because I think when you talk about grace, grace comes from experience.
Mm-hmm.
Cockiness comes from theory. That's my belief. Everyone have this theory of you should do this, you should do that, and you should do those, and blah, 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 and everything. And then it's like, please be my guest, apply it, put it to work, let me know if it works. And I think, my dear, you and I both know that if we talk about like what's in our head and how, when we apply that, half of it, if we're lucky, it works. Half of it, oh, you get humbled very, very quickly. And I think that is something that I would say grace comes from experience, when you truly, truly look at yourself in the mirror and says, you know what? All of these seasons that I went through, it's what built me who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I use an example to so many people when I'm speaking in public, in stages or something like that. I believe this with all of my heart that the kindest people in the world weren't the people that didn't get hurt at all, but they chose to still be kind.
I love that. Now, you have traveled the world, and I have only experienced female entrepreneurship, being a woman in business here in the US. What do you think is different, or is there being a woman business owner when it comes to other cultures, other continents, other countries? What do you see is different than perhaps in the US?
There is a massive difference for sure. Absolutely. And I can talk all of the bad things, but I'm going to choose not to. I'm going to choose to actually talk about us as women. And today I posted something. We had some events here in Europe and I glammed it, for lack of a better word. And I enjoy it. I love it. And I'm really grateful when those moments comes along, because a lot of people would talk about all the bad things about being a woman in business and all of these things. It's like, and I don't disagree with any of them, by the way. But I would say this, man or woman, if you stand on your ground and you know that you're doing the right thing, and you know that you didn't get here in this position, in this power, without the experience, the character building season, you don't come into a country and say, oh, respect me. You don't come into a business and say, you don't do that. You come in, you prove to them, whether you're a woman or a man, you prove to them. And I can promise you, and I can guarantee you, they won't even see if you're a woman. They'll be like, hi, Dad. Oh, my respect to you, madam. For me, I don't walk in, oh, I'm a woman and I'm this and this. Like, no, I would walk in, I am here for business. I am here to change people's lives. And I am here for God's glory. And if you don't want that, that is okay. I'm not here because I'm a woman. I'm not here because I'm whatever. No, because none of that matters. When you get to this point, when you actually would show them that there is another way, because people will look at someone and says, I don't care if she's a man or a woman. If I can relate, meaning like I can see her that she did it, I might have a chance. But it is not easy, that I can guarantee
you. Yeah.
Because there is still that kind of like, oh, she's a woman and it's a this, it's a that. Yes, that's why I'm like, I don't even want to talk about that, because everyone talked about it. It's like a beating the dead horse, for lack of a better one. So I'm very much aware for sure.
Very interesting. You used a word earlier, unbreakable. I think that's a powerful word. I would like to know, what does that mean to you?
I actually have a course that I use when I am in the coaching or the consulting. Unbreakable is so important to me because every move we make, every season of our life could potentially break us. And that potential gets higher and higher and higher if you're being only reactionary.
Mm.
So many times and so many people in my life that I've spoken to, and I've been blessed to be able to be in their presence also. Some of them have done it, some of them didn't, and that's how, not that they fail forever, but there's a lot of seasons of their life where they will end up failing, is because they haven't done what is necessary to become unbreakable. And when people ask me, how can I become unbreakable? I said to them, it's like the first thing you need to do is take a moment to get to know yourself. If you don't know who you are, how do you think you're going to protect yourself?
Mm.
How do you think you could use your strength? How do you think you're going to choose the people you're going to surround yourself with? What type of business do you have? Or you going to have? But the most important one is like becoming unbreakable is having that core. That no matter what happened, you are rooted on that core. And when the world tells you, hey, Angela, come this way, and you look, because we all do, when you do that, is this being swayed on?
Mm.
Is this being minimized on? Or is that thing going completely against this root that you have?
Mm. Yeah.
And if it does, then you have to make choices. Are you going to do it? Or are you going to protect this? That journey, though, is not going to be easy. The first thing I say to people that I work with, whether that's in a group coaching or those in one-on-one coaching, I say to them, I said, once you go through that journey, if you're not ready, you're going to run. You know why? Because this time, no ego.
Mm-hmm.
You see it for what it is, and you will have a reality check in your life.
Mm.
And if you still are trying to hang on to that ego, believe me, you don't want to go through all of that.
Mm.
But for you to become unbreakable, you have to go through this. It's kind of like when I said, God put me in a season to build my character so that I know how to handle money. I know how to handle power. For you to become unbreakable, you have to go through the exact same season to make choices to become unbreakable. And one of those things that I say to people is like, and it's not an overnight journey that most people out there put in the Instagram. It is not. And it's not always pretty.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ugly crying. There's a lot of looking at the mirror and says, oh my effing God. There's a lot of that. But that for me is so important, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Because I say this to every single person, if we talk about this topic, entrepreneurship is going to test you. And that is the reasoning why there are so many entrepreneurs out there that will either stay an entrepreneur or give up and go whatever the other choices they're going to make, but never progress to become a business owner.
Yeah. And I think you have to realize too, yourself, you were saying, to get to really know who you are, because not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you have to have permission, give yourself permission to be okay with that, because you may be the most incredible team member and still have huge success, but you don't always have to be the leader of that company to be successful.
Exactly. Today, my operations director walked into my office, and I can see he's got pain in his heart. And we talked, and we talked about this couple of people that we hired, and within a matter of very short amount of time, these people just left. And I said to him, I said, our vision, how we do our business, should scare people. Should scare the people that are not yet ready to put on the work. Our NDA should scare people. The people that are not honest, that are not running their life with integrity, that are not willing to work on themselves yet, because that is part of our business. Because how long do you think you're going to last if you're going to be this amazing, let's say, CFO or vice president or salesperson, but you have a pain that you have carried for however long? How long do you think you're going to last? And I'm not here just to make so much money and then I have no responsibility of everyone. It's like, that's not how it works. Because you know what? That's actually a really good, quick and easy money. But I'm not here for that. I'm here for sustainability. And if they are breakable, then I'm glad they only wasted my 2 hours, my 10 hours, my however long is that, not my 10 years, not my 15 years, not my God's purpose that put me in this world for. So yeah, it separates the breakable people and unbreakable people. And I can tell you this, it's like, they're not yet ready. They're great, lovely people, but they're not yet ready. And that is okay. No judgment here at all.
Yeah.
I think I lost my judgment a long time ago. Because I'm like, no, I when they are ready, come on back. If I still have a position for them, then that's lovely. That's amazing. If not, okay, maybe it's not yet the right time. But I want unbreakable people. And I don't promise them easy way. But I promise them to be rooted in something far more than me, far more than money, once they are done on that journey.
Yeah.
Because money comes and goes. The root that you will have, you will use that for the rest of your life. So that's why Unbreakable, I have a course, it's called Unbreakable Humans. And we are, we're going to use that again 3 months from now. We have our end of the year event. It's kind of like GrowthCon. For our half of the people are already our clients. And we're going to use that and help them, because I think this side of the world, they don't have a lot of Angelas here. In America, there's a lot of the use there. And I'm blessed, of course, but I'm like, can I bring some Angelas here, please?
Hey, you tell me when and where. I will come support your cause, Anna. You have a beautiful soul, and I love how you approach business and the impact that you're making. So please continue to do what you're doing. I love that. Anna, if our audience wants to get in touch with you, learn more about the event, your coaching, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Everywhere. It's theannasuarez.com.
Yes.
Or on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the Anna Suarez.
Yes. Anna with two N's.
Yes, with 2 N's.
Perfect. All right. One final tip for our audience as we wrap up the podcast.
Final tip is going to be invest in yourself. You are the sure investment. It's great to have a house. It's great to have a nice car. That I will never disagree. But start with yourself first.
Yeah.
I can promise you, you'll never lose.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That's the first tip in my book, is to invest in yourself first. So I love that. We're right aligned again. Anna, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you being on Empower Her Money podcast.
Thank you, my dear. It is my great honor. And I'm here if you need me.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to Empower Her Money podcast. I am grateful for you. Please make sure to leave us a 5-star review, like this podcast, share it, subscribe, and let's keep teaching others how to take control and be empowered with their finances.